everyone, and welcome to the Garden Invasion series. In this series, we will feature gardeners in Singapore who share a passion for plants. Today, we are visiting Min's garden, a secret garden nestled in Irene's very own home. Here she comes!
Hello, hi!
Hi Irene!
Welcome to Min's garden. Come on in, come on in.
Wow! So may I know why is it called Min's garden?
Oh, Min is my Chinese name.
Ah, I see. Well, thanks for having us here today in your charming garden. But over here, it looks like a mini rainforest is going on.
It is more like a jungle. You'll soon find out why. Come, I'll take you on a quick tour. We lived in an apartment nearby 36 years ago, and at that time we were really very interested in gardening. In fact, at one time, we had nearly 100 plants, and we spent most of our weekend just moving plants around, to make sure they get enough sunshine and fresh air. Soon we outgrew apartment gardening and decided we want to experience really digging into the ground and getting down and dirty. So this is what we are today. The result is this lush greenery 31 years on.
Nice! So did you start off with a plan in mind for the layout of this garden, or was it a very spontaneous transformation of the garden over time?
Well, we didn't have a grand garden design. In fact, we were very fortunate. We had a blank canvas to work on, and the garden just grew organically from there. The earliest plants that we put in were a row of 6 McCarter palms along the wooden fence to give us some privacy and screening. 2 ceiling wax palms, which we brought over from our former apartment. We also had an assortment of low bedding plants and some heliconias, which are still my favorite today. It was basically a lawn garden with plenty of space for our 2 daughters and dogs to romp around. Over the years, we started packing in more plants, adding row after row, tier after tier, more trees, including 2 Tebebuya rosier trees. As you can see, the style of this garden is free-flowing and natural. The plants just get into place organically, and we just went with the flow. Some random sections also formed over the years. For example, we have our own palm corner on the slope of our upper garden where we group together several types of palms, including Washingtonia, Liquala, Iguanura, and Rafis, to name some of them. I also have an aeroid alley behind the front porch where we grew shade-loving plants. When space started running out, I turned to tiering the planting to squeeze in more plants at different levels, juxtaposing plants of different height, texture to add depth, utilizing every nook and cranny.
I see you also have a mini nursery growing area here.
Yes, this is my propagation den where I spend many hours on weekend tending to my plant babies, picking up seedlings which have germinated, transplanting them into bigger pots, rooting them in water or sphagnum moss. Basically, there are many trays, or seedlings which are in different stages of propagation. This is also an area where I nurture sick plants back to health.
Ah, I see. So what do you do with all these propagated plants?
Sure. They make excellent gifts for friends, and I also use them for plant swaps with plant growers in the gardening community. Speaking of sharing, here's one for you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very generous of you.
You're very welcome.
So while we're on the topic of having many plants, how many plants do you have in your garden?
Uh-oh, that's a tough question. I think there are more than 500 different types of plants growing in all corners of the garden. Honestly, I've lost count. But it's thanks to the coverage provided by all these plants that the place is cooler than outside. The different pockets of plants create a microclimate within the garden, and this helps to bring the temperature down. You can feel the difference on a scorching day like this.
Well, that's surreal. Well, with that said, I have to ask, do you have any favorites?
There are just too many. But I have a weakness for aeroids and some vining plants, and I'm a huge tree lover. My husband and I somehow managed to grow a few trees, most of which are more than 20 to 25 years old. Trees provide a sense of scale and space, and also great shade for the plants, garden, and house. Flowering trees like Tembusu, Champaka, and Muraya perfume the garden when they are in bloom. During the flowering season, the Tewebuya, also known as the Singapore Sakura, will litter the upper deck with delicate light pink petals. It's such a delight to see the palm trees bursting with luscious sprays of rich red and orange berries when these ripen.
Well, that sounds lovely. Perhaps you can share with us some tips on how you manage your garden.
Believe me, there's always something to do all the time. Every plant, big or small, needs care, and some are more fussy than others. They forsake, get attacked by insects and bugs, and as most of my plants are outdoors, they are exposed to all the elements, the rain, the wind, the sun. On days when there's no rain, I have to do some watering. I also do regular misting of orchids and plants with area roots in the morning or evening. I also check for insects and bugs and do some pruning where necessary. Because I have neighbours directly on my left and right, I take great care to ensure my plants don't encroach into their compound or cause any safety hazard to passers-by. I also ensure there are no pools or stagnant water so that there aren't any mosquitoes either. Another important and regular task is fertilizing to help the plants grow strong and well. It's like giving vitamins and supplements to them. I use mostly organic fertilizer because of my fish and dog.
Ah, I see. Those are very useful gardening tips. And with that, we've come to the end of our visit of Mint's garden. Irene, it's been such a joy talking to you and seeing your lovely garden.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for visiting my garden.
Thank you, goodbye. And that's all from our friend Irene. Till the next garden.